Greetings to you wherever you are. It's a joy, it's an honor reaching out to you on this day, the 8th of the 8th, with the opening of the Lion's Gate portal, whereby you can be in alignment with the sun. For those of you who've been listening to me, you have heard me speak about the sun science and technology to create your reality consciously. And so all the teachings that have been done is have to do with you getting in alignment cosmically, because you're a cosmic being. And so the whole teaching that I've been trying to get across to you is to bring you in alignment with your higher self, which is your God self. And so those who've been telling you that if you believe in any Lord or God or Savior outside of yourself, that you have the wrong God, they are the same ones who would have given you that God to believe. They are the same ones who would have removed the books of the Bible that was there before 1611. And these books are still in Ethiopia. Okay? So today, what I really want to speak to you about is about how you need to get into the energy of what is happening on the planet right now, whereby the star system, Sirius, is in alignment with Earth and the sun. And you have in you that inner light, our sun system. You have in you a solar system. So you have an inner ecology and you have an outer ecology. So everything that's happening on the outside, it is taking place within. So when you understand that theology is basically astrotheology, but it was teaching you astrotheology in a different way to keep you in idolatry. That's why they've been keeping you bound in secular Christianity and pointing you to look outwardly instead of you looking inwardly. And that is why they change the S-U-N into the S-O-N and give you an idol. Okay? But everything revolves around the sun. So this opening of this portal is to help you to get rid of your old belief system and to now align your life in a way that is more beneficial to you, in a way that would be more uplifting to you. Okay? And once you open up yourself to what is happening on this planet and you experience the shift, then you will see that there have always been certain families on this planet that have been working to keep you blind and to keep you in a state of mental darkness where you do not understand your oneness with the rest of this planet. But when you understand your oneness, you'll realize what is happening in the heavens is happening within you, because you would realize that in you lies every answer that you would ever seek for. And so around this time, if you tap into the intelligence of the planet, you will know that what Neville Goddard would have thought wasn't anything new. You will know that it was things that was kept secret in certain societies. And you would know that it was to deter you from what is happening now. They all want to keep you in the past. So whenever a man is on the planet and he's shining light, they will do everything to block that light. But when he's gone, they will get you to vibrate around that person. Okay, that's idolatry. Okay, that's a trick. That is why some people cannot stay on this kind of frequency and listen to me. Okay, because what they do, okay, they use the work of Neville Goddard to make Neville Goddard a hero. Okay, and so with me coming and showing you the things that I've been showing you, and with the opening of this portal, is a time for you to escape. It is a time for you to break the generational curse and what been passed down to you. Okay? That is why in 2025, the year where we're operating under the energy of 9, all lies would be exposed. That is why this is the last video I'll be doing with my channel carrying the name Abdullah Neville Goddard. I'm going to change the name. Okay? Because I've been playing the game for a very long time until I reach this point. I've outgrown Neville. Okay? Because I've known the lie from ever since. And that is why whichever angle a person comes from, I'll be able to show them the lie. That is why I wrote the book, Abdullah the Black Mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard Mentor. And in it, I show where everything that Abdullah was doing, it had to be, he was doing it to expose the oppressor. Okay, so if you take it from the angle and they try to say, oh yes, there was a man named Abdullah, they will have to accept everything I said in the book. Because there couldn't be a man, okay, of such intelligence, and he being a melanated man, and he wasn't here on this planet for a purpose or a reason. So you'd have to accept that is the reason why he was here, to expose the oppressors who've been oppressing the people for so many years. I've been passing down secret from lip to ears, and that is why their families are the ruling class, all in the islands and so on. You'll have to accept that if you believe there was an actual man named Abdullah who was really Neville Goddard mentor, if you really believe that. Okay? But if you accept the truth that I am telling you and say it is a make-up story, because Neville read Walter C. Lanyon work and he read the parable of Abdullah and he used it because he was a part of a certain brotherhood. Okay, and I'm not afraid to say that because it is the truth. And so now that the portal is open, it is time for people to seek for answers. So if you're listening to me and you have an open mind and you believe in the Lion's Gate portal being open, and you believe in the Sirius star system, and you believe what the Dogon people been saying in Africa and the other tribes of Africa, then I am saying to you, get in alignment. And once you get in alignment, that alignment will give you a shift around this time, because the earth is going through a shift around this time. That's why I'm shifting people out of the Neville Goddard energy. I'm showing them their divinity. You see, Neville Goddard work was to create a persona similar to that of Jesus, the idol, because they are on their last straw. That's why when you reach the point of AI and you have robots, that is when they reach the last straw. And a jungle man would even grab at a straw. Okay, so what they're gonna do, they're gonna promise you that they're gonna bring a utopia, but that's not gonna be so. They're gonna be a dystopia. And until you understand AI versus AI, you'll never understand how to free yourself, because AI, which is artificial intelligence, is to represent AI, which is astral intelligence. So we reach a point whereby you can go into the virtual world by way of the machine, or you can go into the virtual world by way of inner intelligence. That is why your mentor is your intuition. Your mentor is your inner power, your inside teacher. Your mentor is not one on the outside. So, for example, a lot of people who run with the Neville Goddard hype and who believe that there was a man who named Abdullah who taught Neville all of these things, they would realize after a while that artificial intelligence would be saying the same thing that they've been saying. They would realize that artificial intelligence would shut down their little gravy train and the channel with Neville. Because all of these things that they're making public now is things that were hidden in their secret brotherhood. But because they have already outworked the church system, they already outworked the political system, and they are ready now to reveal themselves to the world. They exercise that in 2020 to 2022. All these people who normally gather the economic forum and so on, and who's putting this new world order together, they was using the church to prophesy. They was using the church to affirm these things. They was using the ignorant minds to affirm these things, to give them strength to do it. That is why, my brother, my sister, if you're listening to me, I'm saying to you, get into this portal, this Lions Gate portal that has been opened up. Okay, starting from today, get into it by being willing to unlearn and relearn and reprogram your subconscious mind. Come to the realization that Neville wasn't telling you the truth concerning when he talked about having a mentor. He wasn't telling you the full truth of where he got this knowledge from and how he was being so detailed with his experience. There's no way you can become enlightened and be so detailed about how many days certain things happen to you and could go back in the Bible and show back these things. It don't happen like that. When you become aware and you become enlightened, it's the most shocking moment in your entire life. You wouldn't know what is happening to you, except if you would have had prior knowledge. So Neville Goddard had prior knowledge to these things. And so there are millions of people all around the world who get caught up in a hype. And these are the same people who would say they would not go and they wouldn't go join themselves to any secret brotherhood and so on. Well, I'm telling you, the secret is that there is no secret. That is the real secret, because the main thing is that we are spirit and we are having a human experience and we all have the same power. We all go to the same toilet. We all have to take a shower. We all depend on the air that we breathe. And so, if you do not take control of your mind and you make they take a man who already dead and have you to dwell around the dead, they have you dwelling around the grave. So they give you Ernest Holmes walk when he's dead. They give you Neville Goddard walk when he's dead. Wayne Dyer walk when he's dead. Bob Proctor walk when he's dead. So all these people, after they're dead and their work is finished, yeah, they don't mind give you their work. But when a living man is here, present tense, they all want to blind you from the living man that is here, present tense. That's why I'm doing these kind of videos and exposing Neville. Because why? Neville is not here to defend himself So that's why they will always give you the walk of a dead man instead of giving you the walk of a living man that is presently before you. So many people looking around and asking for Abdullah. Oh, is there any book on Abdullah? No, it's a make-up story. If you're looking for a black mentor with knowledge from Ethiopia, look at black mentor right here. If you're looking for a black mystic with knowledge from Ethiopia, look at black mystic right here, right now. If you believe there was a black mystic years ago that people used to schedule an interview with, then you've been duped by Neville Goddard. You get chick. Here is a black mystic right in front of you right now, speaking to you. And I'm telling you, everything that Neville taught is all about the sun. The S-U-N. It have nothing to do with no child in no swaddling cloth. Don't believe that. When you have your awakening experience and you have the blood from the skull, there's no cloth involved in it. There is no baby being wrapped up. Any baby in the astral realm will be still hooked up to that cord that they normally cut when you have a baby. They cut it away. They call it the navel string or something like that, or the umbilical cord. That's how you would be suspended in the astral realm as a child. Don't make it fool you. And that's the same thing will happen to you at death. And you'll be there for a little bit, and then you leave. So just like when a child come here and is still attached to his mother, and then they cut away that part where he's attached to the mother, it's the same thing will happen to you at death. And it's the same thing will happen when you have the blood from the skull, but you wouldn't cut yourself away from that. So don't make them fool you, okay? So your birth and your death is the same thing, and your spiritual awakening is also a death and a burial and a resurrection. So it is you dying to this wall of your ego self. All the things that have been handed down to you from your parents and your parents' parents, from your school teachers, your political leaders and your religious leaders, all of these things that have been passed down to you and keep you in a certain program. These are the things you have to die to. And then when you come forth in a new life, your life will be productive. It's like a corn. A corn. If you take a corn of wheat and you sow it in the earth, unless it die, it would abide alone. But if it dies, it's going to bring forth fruit, many fruit like itself. And so, not until you would have gone through the process that you will understand the real science of alchemy, and you will become a true alchemist in the spiritual realm first, because you would become alchemy itself. Through your purification, you become God, and you know that you are God in flesh. Not a little baby wrapped in swaddling cloth, as Neville said. So my brother and my sisters, if you really want to know these things I'm saying to you, if it is truth, get in to this portal that is open up. Because ever so often there will be a portal that will open up, and it have to be in alignment with the sun. Everything always have to be in alignment with the sun. That is why Neville Goddard never tell you that the experience he's talking about, that there must be the opening of an eye. He never tell you that. Because if he tell you that, then he will be sharing with you the secret of why the eye is above the pyramid and the US dollar. And everyone who experiences that eye within, they have right to certain wealth and riches on this planet. That's why it's on the dollar. And you have right to live as a free being on this planet. So the fact that the same eye that is on the US dollar is the same eye that can be opened within me, it tells something. It tells a story. And if you check my name and my surname, and you check the first black president of America, you see his name was John Hanson. And I carry that surname. He was the first black president of America. I'm not talking about the United States of America. First black president of America, John Hanson. And he is on one of the, there is a US dollar, I can't remember which dollar, which currency it is, that has all the president on it. And you see him there too. So my brother and my sisters, they've always been a mystical bloodline on this planet. They've always been a true royal bloodline on this planet. And all the fakes would be exposed. It doesn't matter how long it takes. And all the families who have usurped power and authority over the people and keep them enslaved, keep them as paycheck slaves, and keep them bound from knowing their true identity. All these families will be exposed. That's why I'm exposing Neville. Neville family has the biggest business in my country. Most of the people who work in with Neville Goddard family in my country do not know that it is the Goddards who start those businesses. That's why when I went up there and I take out the picture of Joseph Goddard, it's on this channel on a vlog I had when I went up there. After that, they forbid the public to enter that building again. They have codes on it now. You can't go up in that building anymore, where they have the mission statement and everything. So when I speak, I cannot compromise. I cannot think about views when I'm speaking. I just can't bring myself to think about views and to compromise. I'm gonna stand for the truth. I am telling you, Neville Goddard and the things that he's been teaching is nothing new. And Neville Goddard never had any black mentor that mentor him. He's a liar. He joined a certain brotherhood. And that's where he had somebody to mentor him and teach him certain things. But these things are actually in our DNA. So no one had to keep us in a secret, nothing. You don't need to live your life in this world with any secret. There's no brotherhood except the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God, which is the higher self. And I'm just using God because that's the name they change it to. Okay? So I'm not speaking of any entity on the outside when I say God. Okay? So my brother, my sisters, you know, as I speak to you, I want to let you know that, you know, I'm going to definitely change the name. And I'm going to continue to show you the things that Neville Goddard have been saying that they just doesn't make any sense. And it just doesn't add up. And the reason why this wouldn't go down good with a lot of people, because right now, most people on the internet, whether they're teaching self-development, whether they're doing motivational speaking, whether they're doing breath work, whatever work they're doing, all of them, they goes back to Neville. Even if they're not mentioning Neville. Joe Dispenza, all of these people, they started with Neville. They started with Neville. All the people referring to Neville as a philosopher, they referring to Neville as a mystic and all of that. If Neville was a philosopher, Neville was a mystic, and he claimed a black man named Abdullah as he mentor, then who is Abdullah then? Anyhow you put it, you see the lies. So you put it this way, you see the lie. You put it that way, you still see the lie. It's all a lie. And that's why I'm saying this is the time when this portal is open that your ancestors want to communicate with you. Those and serious star system, they want to visit you. And I'm telling you, they look just like you. They want to communicate with you. But you have to get rid of all of the colonial mindset that was given to you, all that was passed down to you. I mean, I have to be honest and real to myself, okay? Because at the end of the day, I want to sleep in peace and I want to awake in peace. And I want to live a life on this planet being fearless. Fearless, which means not afraid of death, because death is inevitable. It's part of living. But I'm not going to sit here and compromise and tell people that Neville was bringing something new and something pure to them when he did belong to a secret brotherhood. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to jump on his bandwagon and his gravy train. No, I passed that age and that stage. There's a lot of young men who want to become rappers and so on. Okay, they want to rap. They want fame. Okay, they want fame. They want money. You could give them that, but nobody could give me anything to compromise. Neville did belong to a secret society, a secret brotherhood. Okay, so he wasn't bringing nothing new to the world. Neville can revolutionize the world because what he's bringing is not the whole truth. Because he couldn't be bringing a message to liberate the world and to say freedom for all, while his ancestry still have our people enslaved right here in this country right now. And all the other investors that come into this country, they come to enslave the people. They're building resorts and so on to do what? To enslave the people, because they know that the educational system already set up to enslave the people. I ain't gonna shut my mouth and keep quiet. Why you think Sanders Hotel is trying to do a host a charity in my country right now? And the people are so blind and stupid. I see so much people line up to go get glasses for their eyes. They're testing eyes and getting glasses, and Sanders sponsor it. All of that is the beggy. Keep them on the beggy program and the beggy chain. Why should I give a man a fish when I could teach him how to fish? They're never going to teach you how to fish. They use charity to blind you. So people who love freeness and think there's something, they could get something for free. There's nothing given for free. Even your existence is not for free, because you have to inhale and exhale. If I put a plastic bag around your face and you can only inhale and you can't exhale, you're going to die. So there's nothing for free. So my brother and my sister, I cannot stay in a colony like where I'm living here. This is a colony, being colonized. Okay? People were enslaved. Sugar cane was taken from this country to build England, build America, build all of these places. And they still have the people in captivity. Okay? Whereby they have certain families who receive certain secret from lip to ears, still in control of the people. And I'm going to sit here and try to be nice because I want views. No way, it's not going to happen. So, and at this time, where there's an opening of the Lion's Gate, where you can be in alignment with the Sirius star system and be in alignment with the sun, giving this high energy out. If you don't want to get in alignment with it, it's your business, okay? But I'm telling you, this is the time you have to make use of the opportunity and get into the frequency, get into the vibration, get into alignment and be your higher self, and live your life on a higher level, okay? I can guarantee you that they never got a hype will soon come to an end. It must end, and it's going to end. Okay, that's why I'm already changing my channel. When I get back home, I'm gonna remove the name of the channel from that. Okay, because the truth must be known. Okay, and I will tell the truth. Doesn't matter how much views I get, I'm gonna tell the truth. There's no one who could give you a false God and come back around and tell you that if you believe in a God outside of yourself, you have the wrong God. Don't make nobody fool you. I could go back to the history and prove it. That's why Neville got a family stay prominent in Barbados. That's why they stay prominent in the islands. That's why they stay prominent in Canada. This thing been passing down from family to family, but the same set of family, that own plantation, they pass it down from one to the next, and one to the next, from one to the next. That's what they did. So when people hear Neville talking about Abdullah, it's a lie. It's a make-up story. He's a damn liar. He's a liar. Yeah, so there's a lot of people who don't want to hear the truth about Neville. And some asking me, oh, how is that going to help other people? How is that going to grow your channel? No. My life is not about that. My life is about truth. Because it's only truth that you shall know that will set you free. You can't compromise some money, because at the end of the day, you have to die and leave all the money here. You want to know that you can eat and you can drink with a clear conscience. You go to the Blue Mountain for yourself and see. Love and abundance to you too. Someone say a lot of these spiritual teachers live in LA, like Neville, Goddard. They used to always go by the Ebel Theater. Okay, always by the Ebel Theater. It was a conglomerate. It was a conglomerate, if I'm calling the word correct. Okay, it was a bunch of them. So when people say, Joseph Murphy had a mentor too, and it's a damn lie. Okay, they have always kept the secret of the conscious and the subconscious mind away from the masses. They have always kept the secret of the inner sun science from the masses. They have always kept the secret of heaven being within yourself and the truth being within you, and the esoteric understanding of the Bible, the psychological understanding of the Bible, and the metaphysical understanding of the Bible, and so on. They have always kept it away from the masses. And so these men from these brotherhoods, they've always been putting their work in tapes back in the day, in books and tapes. That's why they have all of these different religions, and what they're doing. They are those who are walking on the esoteric side, and those are walking on the exoteric side. So anywhere you go, you'll be trapped unless you learn to believe in yourself. Okay? So if you go the Christian way, you're trapped. And even if you go the other way, okay, that they refer to as the Gnostic way or whatever, okay, you could be trapped too, unless you have a true awakening. Because if you listen to people like Ernest Holmes and all of these other people from before, okay, and you read certain books, Florence Scovel, Shannon, and these people book, Genevieve Brehen and all of these kind of people books and so on, right? And you listen to people like All Nightingale and all of these people. You read James Allen book and so on. You know that these people have always known certain things, and they was hiding it. That's what I'm talking about. They've always known these things and they've been hiding it. But because the planet reached a certain stage, and they know people will be waking up like crazy. That is why it's a race to get AI implemented as quick as possible, because that nasty, stinking, dirty weapon AI is, you know. They don't show you all these things in movies. So who want to hold on and they never got a gravy chain, and who love to talk about manifest this and manifest that? The thing you want to manifest is astral intelligence. That's what you're supposed to be focusing on. Astral intelligence, how to go within with less distraction. How to get in touch with the ancestors. The ancestors want to speak with you. So Neville is blocking you from your ancestors by talking about Abdul and checking you. Both he, Joseph Murphy, all of them, they're liars. Everything is frequency and vibration. there's devices you can use to tune your frequency. Yes, of course. Okay. But what they want to do is to always keep you distracted. Neville Goddard is a distraction. Joseph Murphy, all of them is distractions. Stick on the awakening that's happening on the planet. Because when you get experience before you meet their work is working to confirm to you that you had a true awakening. That's what happened to me. That's why I could tell you those things. That's how I find those people. But before I find those people, I find people like Bobby Hemmett and other black people who was teaching certain things. Someone asking me, do you feel like animal exploitation is the spirit of violence? I can't think so. I can't think like that because there's some people who love dogs, like they have close affinity to dogs. They have animals all around and yet they're the most brutal and wicked people. Someone quoting James 4:17. If anyone then knows the good, the urge to do and doesn't do it, it is sin to them. This is just basically telling you that when you get knowledge, you have to use the knowledge. Well, there's some of us born in this world to teach the knowledge and also to use the knowledge. Okay? There's some people who call to teach and to tell the truth. Okay? There's some people who were sent on this planet to warn the masses of the lies and the deception. For example, I used to listen to David Icke when David Icke used to talk all the things that people used to call conspiracy theory. But we see what happened in 2020, 2022, and we see what's going to happen. Wait until the end of this year. You see what will happen from after the end of this year, 2025, going 2026, then 2027. That's when some people start to really catch themselves. By the time some people realize that they were being told the truth all the time, it'll be too late. Because AI is going to revolutionize this world. And unless you already wake up and you're willing to live off-grid, you'll have to join yourself to a supercomputer. You'll have to give your mind over. Okay? So my brother, my sisters, the people like us who are bringing this kind of truth to you, okay? It is because we realize that they have always had an agenda. And it's not so easy for you to escape the agenda because many people say, oh, Neville Goddard is truth. Neville Goddard this. What Neville Goddard is telling you now is what Neville Goddard and his family, and generation, that goes all the way to Buckingham Palace in England. These are the kind of things that they've been keeping secret all the time, all in the Vatican and so on too. So, if you are a melanated person, don't get on no Neville Goddard hype train. Don't get on no Honest Holmes hype train. Don't get on none of these people in this self-help space and personal development space until you get your awakening. Seek for your awakening. Seek your ancestors. So this opening of the portal, the 8 of the 8 right now, I'm saying to you, seek to get communication with your ancestors. Seek to get certain downloads. There's so many people, once they come in contact with me and they believe what I am teaching, they've been getting experiences. I've had so many people. Once they come face to face with me and I speak to them and they listen and they believe, then they start to get communication. They start to get certain download from the ancestors. Because why? Your ancestors, you've been blocked from being in touch with the ancestors. And it is simple. All you have to do is be willing to unlearn and relearn and reprogram your subconscious mind and accept the fact that your parents, they were brainwashed and deceived, and that there's no one on this planet who come from the background of plantation owners whose children are here to enlighten you. They are not here to enlighten you. They are here to block you from accepting your present day messengers and mystics that have been sent to you as a melanated person. I can go on and on and on, but I think I'm definitely gonna come to a close here. Okay. But I wanna just update you that I'm gonna change the channel name and I'm gonna continue to expose Neville Goddard, and I'm gonna go to certain things and I'm gonna ask you, the people all around the world, to take it and make sense of it. Make it make sense. And then I'm gonna go in the same Bible also and show you certain things. And you make it make sense, and you see it can't make sense. You see it never makes sense. Abdullah have no mother, he have no father. Just like the characters in the Bible. They have no surname, nothing. And people buy into that. And so many people, I used to be wondering and ask myself, wait, you mean to tell me all these melanated people do not realize that this Abdullah never really exists? They don't? And so I decided, I'm going to build this channel and I'm going to talk about Abdullah to get people's attention. Then I said, I'm going to put this book together and I'm going to shock a lot of not melanated people. I said, I'm going to shock a bunch of Caucasian people because they would think I would be there uplifting Neville in that book. So I put the book together. When they read the book, I say everything Abdullah was doing was to expose Neville Goddard ancestry. So if we take it from the angle and say, well, okay, Neville Goddard was talking the truth. Neville Goddard is a truth teller. Okay, he definitely had a mentor named Abdullah. Then I use reverse psychology in the book and show you, well, Abdullah was exposing Neville Goddard and his ancestry. So when he slammed the door in Neville Goddard's face, I show you the symbology of that, and I show you all the other symbology. Then I show you if there were philosophers back in China 1,000 years ago, then Neville Goddard is Judas. That's their Judas. It means that the black man taught them a secret many, many years ago, and they used that secret to backstab us and destroy us and enslave us, and now it come back to us. It doesn't, Neville can't escape. Never got a life can't escape me. Then I went further and I put a Bible together called the 66 Books of Magic, the Overcomers Bible. And then I put on it that I dedicated to Neville Goddard and Abdullah. And I removed Jesus out of it. So you have to tell me that I didn't know all these things all the time? I knew. I'm saying now, you have to take back your power. And this is the time. Now this portal is open. All you have to do is receive. Okay? Because those of you who's linked to Sirius star system, you will definitely hear from your ancestors. Things gonna happen. A lot of strange things gonna happen in your life. And you're gonna see these things I'm saying to you. That it is the truth. And they've been hiding the truth from you all along. Okay? Everything that have ever been stolen from us is gonna come back to us. Everything, it doesn't matter how long it takes. These families that have been ruling in these colonies, one by one, they're gonna be exposed. Okay, and even if this generation here right now doesn't take what I'm saying serious, there's a generation that will come and take it seriously. Because just like the movie Illustrium, you must check out the movie Illustrium. When they went and they live on the moon, and all the elites live on the moon, and the people down here was like a shit house. You couldn't even get medical for your child. It's in the movie. Okay, I think it's Matt Damon, one of those out that movie. Okay? It's the same thing they're going to do right here, right now. That's the kind of thing they're trying to achieve. So my brother, my sisters, use this Lionsgate portal opening as a way to reshape yourself, reshape your life, get out of the old life. That's why I'm changing the Abdullah Neville Goddard name. Okay, I'm not going onward with that kind of name. I already done the work. I already done the portion. I'm moving over into the other portion. That's one portion I'm going to work. Yeah, I'm doing the other portion. So the first portion is where I was acting as if there was an Abdullah. Okay, and all was well. The views was coming, everything was happening. You understand? And then now, I'm going to show you the other side. Just like when people read the book. especially people who's not melanated people, when they read about the black mystic from Ethiopia, Neville Goddard mentor, they go and some of them went and gave it bad review. They say, this man was on low vibration. So which kind of vibration he was on when you put chains around people's feet and chains on their hand and beat them, rape them, buck breaking, you do buck breaking on them, cut women stomach open, take out child, show them to crocodile, do all of these things. What kind of vibration you people was on? So you expect me to become a more self-aware person and I gonna hide those things to be what? A nice person, die a nice person? No, I realize when you wake up as a black man, trust me, and your eyes being open, you can't help but see the truth. And you speak the truth and the truth will set you free. Many people might be afraid of death and people always say, oh, protect this man or that. No, we come here to die. Okay, but you want to die free. You don't want to die a slave. The worst thing is to die a slave. That's the worst thing, to die a slave. And when you die with a secret, you die a slave. Because you remain a slave to that secret. Yeah. You make a blood oath. And you swear to secrecy. For what? Money. Sell yourself so short. For what? Money. My money was first a thought. It was first an idea. It was first imagine. I know what it's like to cook on wood fire. So if I post my videos, even if there's one person see my video, I good. Okay, so it doesn't matter who the workers are at YouTube and how much people they want to say push your video out to, I still gonna remain the same person. Whenever you see a man who look like me and teaching the same thing like me, and you see again a bunch of views and opportunities and so on, don't worry again, you know. Don't worry, you don't have to ask yourself what he did, you know. Let me just rest this here. Put on my shoe. Okay, I was grounded. You see, I was grounded. Okay, don't ask yourself what he did, you know. There's some people willing to sell themselves. So they could fly first class, they could fly business class, they could stay by 5-star hotel, they could do all of these things. That's a temporal thing. But your soul, my soul, going back to the ancestors. And the ancestors going to greet me and say, well done, good work. You never sell yourself short. You never sell your soul for fame and popularity. You speak the truth. There are so many men on the YouTube that try to never Goddard walk. So much of them. I could call so much name. I could name so much of them. They name in the videos with many different names. But when you listen to the teaching, you know they know about Neville, but they never want to say so. But Proctor never used to want to talk about Neville, but I did not know long time. All these people on YouTube and so on, who talk about manifest this and manifest that and so on. You can't expect to destroy families, destroy a people's identity, do them everything that was evil, and then you want to come and say, oh, we are one. Yes, when you understand the law of polarity, we are one. But what side are you on? Huh? What side are you on? If there is God and there is a devil, then who's God and who's the devil? And who's playing the part of God and who's playing the part of the devil? I'm telling you, any black man believe in Jesus Christ as a white man, that's his devil. I'm not afraid to say that. And when Neville tried to make himself God and talk about it, and God spoke and say, and God walk with them, and the woman at his side say, and if God walk with them, where is he? And God say, at thy side. And then she told him and say, you mean to say Neville is God? And he said, yes, in the act of awakening. Well, if that is true and you believe with Neville, God, I say, then who am I in the act of awakening? Hey! I feel good. If Neville is God, then who am I in the act of awakening? If the voice spoke to Neville, if the voice spoke to Neville, but the woman at his side, and he said, yes, Neville is God in the act of awakening. Who am I in the act of awakening? You see? You see? You see why you can't be a respected person? I've never been a respected person. You see why when I speak, I'm not speak based on race and this and that and what people think, you know. I am speaking on the basis that we are all supposed to be free on this planet. And people must not be enslaved. And people must be told the truth. And when you've been told the truth, it is your prerogative to do whatever you please to do because you was given a choice. When someone put chain on your feet and your hand, they haven't given you any choice. This whole belief about Jesus was forced upon melanated people. They were beaten. They were treated less than animals to force to have that belief. No, you tell me someone like Neville gonna come and tell you, if you ever say Lord or God and you think it's someone on the outside, you have the wrong God. You telling me he coming now to tell you he bringing truth to you? No, it's a lie. It's a trap. It's to block you from those who are right before you. So you won't see the present day messengers in front of you. That's why they give you the wrong concept of God. When they give you the wrong concept of God, they give you God as a white image. Every Bible story in the Bible, they paint a white picture for you. How I want to know, how could I be a real person who really had a real awakening, and I could sit down and do highlight those things? I want somebody reach out to me. Let us speak on the internet. Show your face. Whether you're white, are you black, are you gray, are you Chinese, are you Japanese, show your face. Let me do a Zoom. Let me do a Zoom and justify slavery. And tell me why the same thing mustn't happen back to you. And show me where there was a real Abdullah, where Neville was talking about. Sure. Come. I do like to go with people who hiding behind a computer, behind a phone. Me hiding behind nothing. This earth is our birthright. Abundance is our birthright. We are the sun people. We have power over all the forces. We have power over all the elements. The element of earth, wind, water, and fire. They have the same power too, but they have it in an artificial way. They have it in the robots. They have it in the bombs. You name all the kind of bombs. They went in Iran and the Jap, the cluster bomb or whatever. You name all the bombs they have. They go back to the elements. So they have it that way, and we have it another way. Can't fool me, me stupid. So you might say, oh, we are all one. Yeah. A sheep and a goat is an animal. All of them are animal. But they're different in nature. So when you understand the polarity, you'll always have the people who would build all kind of weapons. So you're not going to compete with them with weapons? No. But if many of us could come together, then we could bring the hurricane. So you bring your weapon, I bring a hurricane. You bring your weapon, I bring a tornado. You bring your weapon, you understand, I bring an earthquake. You bring your weapon, I bring a volcanic eruption. Because we could control nature. We can control nature. And we have to know who we are and stop calling our own science evil. They turn our own people against themselves to call their own science evil. Somebody said Neville didn't just claim to be God or the only God. He said if we are created in God's image, then likewise we too are God. If I'm wrong, then point me to the truth. No, not until you experience yourself, which is your true essence, your invisible self, that you know that you and God are one. And God is just a name they use from the real name. That's why you have many names for this intelligence. But this intelligence, when this intelligence wrap in flesh and appear before me, as the man in the burning bush that doesn't consume, was a melanated man that walk out of that bush that doesn't consume when I was 30 years of age and spoke with me in another language. That's why I know you can't use the English language to really get the true essence. It's only an experience you can have to really get in touch with your higher self, your God self. Someone say 101 hosted by Rose Williams. Believe in yourself, no one else. Okay? But Neville never pointed to believe in himself when he tried to say that. And the people who said, oh, Neville, no, he was God the Father. So when my son called me father too, so I am God the Father too. So you see, when there's a lie, you always end up like this. Because, for example, right, black people and white people end up with the same God. With the white boy, with the blonde hair and the blue eye, where they give you call Jesus. Okay, and one was enslaving one. So how the slave and the slave master end up with the same God? So how Neville claimed to have a certain experience, I have that experience too. And I'm telling you, the experience that I have is the opening of an eye within. How he never mentioned the eye? He couldn't do that. So Neville had to go back to the Bible story and talk about child was in wrapping clothes, cloth. It's not true. Of course, you're your own authority. Of course, God is one with all, because it are two sides. He said, I am the one who kill and the one who make alive. I'm the one who wound and the one who heal. You could have the God. Remember, no, one man God is another man devil, and another man devil is another man God. I'm telling you, black people, devil is Jesus and the church system. You have to act on yourself, yes, I believe in that. You act on yourself. I am telling you, black people, demon, and black people, devil, is a white God. And that is the truth. Nothing else but the truth. And white people, devil, is an enlightened black man. White people, devil, is an enlightened black man. That's their devil. That's their biggest problem. A black man with common sense, which is real God sense. An awakened, enlightened black man. Not those who they could use in Hollywood to put on dress. They have no respect for those men. Those are boys. Martin Lawrence and all of them. Pay them a certain amount of money and put them in dress. So my brother, my sister, I will continue to speak the truth. Okay, this isn't about views. This about what is the truth. And I will speak the truth until the day I leave this planet. I am telling you, Neville Goddard was tricking you when you talk about Abdullah. That's my main thing. Okay, I'm not saying some of the things he teaches is not the truth. I'm not arguing that. Okay? Because those are things that was known from ever since and they had them hidden. Okay? Some of the books they removed from the Bible have all of those things. Okay? So the thing when you talk about Abdullah was his mentor and he was a black man. Is downplaying the black man and putting the black man in the black space. So he would be enlightened around this time here. And people will be talking about Neville Goddard and they'll build a bunch of channel and Neville Goddard and they'll be selling more and more Neville Goddard books and so on. And they'll be celebrating Neville Goddard and immortalize Neville Goddard while you still asking, who is Abdullah? Where is Abdullah? Is there any book in Abdullah? Oh, Abdullah must be Josiah Ford. Abdullah must be this. Abdullah must be that. No! It's the back from the now. And when I speak, I'm not speaking from ego. I'm a black mystic right here, right now. So, if you want to consult somebody and you want to speak with somebody and you want to speak with a mystic, there's a mystic here right now. I'm not the only one. There are many. So my brother and my sisters, I really want to thank you all very much for tuning in, and I'll continue to do more live when I have time, and I'll continue to make videos, but I've had enough of carrying the name Abdullah Neville Goddard, because I think I've done what I needed was to do, and now I'm going to go on to the next phase of what I've been called to do on this planet. So when I go home, I definitely going to change the name, okay? But I really want to thank you all very much for tuning in. And I want to encourage all melanated persons to definitely get into that Lion Gate portal. Okay, get rid of the old things and get the new things going that you want to see happening in your life, the things you were waiting for to see manifest in your life, the life you always want to live, and so on. You can definitely get into that portal, and you can definitely hear from the ancestors. My whole desire is for the ancestors to start visiting you, and you start to get in touch with the ancestors, because when that started happening, I'm gonna tell you that your life gonna definitely change. Okay, so I really want to thank you all very much for listening to me, and I'll definitely see you on another live, and keep tuning in and keep supporting this work. So with that being said, I just want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.